Hey nature photographers, it's Lee Hoy coming to you with another great video on how to create custom autofocus point configuration or targets. There are some times where the standard autofocus point configurations that come with the OM1 or the OM1 Mark II and now the OM3 that just don't always work the best. You know, they just created a certain series of autofocus point configurations, but there's a couple of things I like to do a little different. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create your own custom autofocus point configuration. I just want to say thanks for all the kind words, the comments. Congratulations to the winner of our 5K subscriber giveaway. Thank you for all of the things that you guys do to make this worthwhile. I am looking forward to sharing with you the results of the in-field use of the 100 to 400 millimeter lens. Hopefully I'll be able to get that uploaded while I'm either in India or Florida. I'll do my best to try to get you that information as timely as possible. But today, custom autofocus point configuration. Let's get to it. Hello, my name is Lee Hoy, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Lee Hoy Photography. I'm an OM System Ambassador, Senior Workshop Instructor for Wildside Nature Tours. I'm a workshop instructor for precision camera and video, and a contributing author for the Journal of Wildlife Photography. Well, I'll be honest that I use custom autofocus point configurations primarily for landscape and macro. I have found that with the OM1 for AI subject detection and the OM1 Mark II, that I like to use either the small box or all autofocus points for the OM1 or the large for the OM1 Mark II. I don't have the OM3 in my hands yet. I think I'm going to order one because why not? And so I'll be looking forward to doing some videos on the OM3 as well. So here we go. What we're going to do first, we need to hop into our cameras. And so I have an OM1 Mark II with the trusty Atoll D. You can see my Atoll D connected to it. And of course the 12 to 100 f4 lens. Love this lens. It's going in my bag more and more. It's going to go with me to India. And I'll be excited to use that in cities like Delhi and other places, assuming I have the time. So how do we make a custom autofocus point configuration? Well, let's talk about how to create a custom autofocus target mode or autofocus point configuration. First off, why do you do this? Because sometimes the standard ones that come with OM cameras, there are some modifications we make to make capturing autofocus exactly where we want it even more accurate and efficient. For example, for landscape photography, I like to use long, thin lines of autofocus points, a horizontal one for when I'm shooting in landscape mode, and another one, I have to create it vertically so that when I rotate my camera, that it is also horizontal to the scene. For most landscape photography, I'm going to focus about a third of the way into the scene. So I've created some custom autofocus target modes to help me do that. You can create custom autofocus target modes for macro, street photography, all different kinds. And you say, well, Lee, how do I know which one? Well, that's going to come with experience, personal preference, and what you think works best for you in different situations. So the point of today's video isn't to teach you why and when you should have one. I'm here to teach you how to create one. So the first thing we need to do is hop into the menu. I have an OM1 Mark II attached with the M.Zuiko ED 12 to 100 IS Pro lens, one of my favorites. So without further ado, we're going to press the menu button and we want to go to the green autofocus menu. Page 6 in an OM1 Mark II, I believe it's page 5 on the OM1. I don't know what page yet on an OM3. I'm going to order that, I decided, but I don't have one in my hands yet. So stay tuned for some OM3 videos in the future. When it comes to creating custom autofocus target mode settings, we want to go to this top item, AF target mode settings. We're going to press OK. You'll notice on the far right-hand side that there are the standard, the first 5 are standard autofocus point configurations that come direct from OM system. These are defaults. There's also the small, which you cannot turn on and off, okay? That's why you don't see it in there. So, but what you see here is C1, C2, C3, and C4. Now, it can be confusing because they're called C1, C2 for Custom 1, Custom 2. This does not have anything to do with the custom modes found on the top of your camera. So custom modes on the top of the camera and C1, C2, C3, and C4 in autofocus target mode settings are not the same thing. I kind of wish they'd called these A1, A2, A3, A4 to eliminate that potential confusion, but they are not the same. Now, if you look here in the menu, you'll notice on the right-hand side there are check boxes in front of these autofocus points. If you press the OK button when one is highlighted, it unchecks that box. That means when you go into either the super control panel or using a button program for autofocus point selection, you won't see that option. If you're looking for a specific option and you don't see it, it is because it is unchecked here. So you want to press the OK button on whatever autofocus point target mode you would like to have. So I have C1 selected. If we go into it, you'll notice I've already created a custom one, but I'm going to show you how you would create one from scratch. Normally it will, I think it's either a 1x1 or a 3x3 is the default when you come into a custom one. I think we'll set it to 3x3. Sorry, I'm going the wrong direction here. So let's just say that's what the default is. I don't remember if it's 1x1, doesn't matter. Whatever it's at, just know that the front dial controls the horizontal aspect. How many boxes? So as you spin through, you see it jumps from odd numbers. The rear dial controls the vertical or the thickness, right? So I want a 1x39 autofocus point or autofocus target mode. We don't move this up and down on this screen. This is just where we create it. It's important to hit the OK button now and not half press the shutter button or the menu button, as it won't be set. So here you see I created that for landscape mode. Here I've created one. Again, the front dial controls the thickness on vertical, and the rear dial controls the horizontal thickness. So I have a 1x27. I'm going to press OK. Notice both boxes are checked. So that's all there is to creating an autofocus target mode configuration. Front dial spins, okay, controlling the vertical. Rear dial spins, controlling the horizontal. Now, I've got both of those saved. We can press the menu button and then half press the shutter button to exit our menu. Now when I press the super control panel, you'll notice right here is autofocus target mode. So in the horizontal, I want C1. And I can use the joystick to move this all over the place. So, normally this is how it's going to start out, right here. But let's say there's a tree or a rock that's too close on the right-hand side of the screen. Well, all I'm going to do is use the joystick. Now I can still select somewhere about a third of the way into the scene and avoid a tree or rock that's too close. You'll notice when I rotate my camera to the horizontal, see how it switches to that? It looks vertical on the screen, but remember, it would be parallel to the horizon on my camera. It's just that my screen won't flip doing the screen recording. So again, C2, and look what happens when I rotate my camera. So when I go to horizontal, it goes back to C1. When it goes back to vertical, the other side, it goes to C2. To make sure your camera does that, you go to orientation linked here in autofocus green, page 6 for the OM1 Mark II, page 5 for the OM1. Under autofocus target settings and operations, press OK. You need to have both of those checked. If you don't have those checked, it will not keep them different for horizontal and vertical. Okay? So again, that is how we create custom autofocus target mode configurations. I hope that's helpful. I want you to know my Costa Rica OM only macro workshop coming up in September on the Osa Peninsula is now open. I believe 4 of 8 spaces have already been taken, maybe more by the time this comes out. That is going to be where I'll teach you everything OM system and macro related how to use flash. You'll be getting awesome shots very quickly, I promise you. We have one of the best entomologists in Central America joining us for 3 days there. We'll also take a day to photograph some birds, monkeys, whales. It'll be a great time. I also have working on a Uganda 2026 OM system only, gorillas and chimps, working on an OM system only in Spain. So for all my European fans, I will be coming to Europe in 2026, probably in April, to do birds and mammals, hopefully the Iberian lynx. So I've got a lot of OM system only stuff in the works, looking at an OM system only cruise. Stay tuned, guys. I love teaching all things OM only. Hope this video was helpful. I'll see you next time. Remember, go capture some visually compelling images.